What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your sweet Zionist prince, Tal the Traveling Clack, coming at you live from Israel. We're looking at absolute more basedness from amazing people who speak out about Israel today. A few clips. Let's take a look.
As long as Allah is a legitimate authority, and as long as Allah wants the Jews killed, then there are going to be a bunch of people out there going after the Jewish people. And if we, as Christians, Buddhists, Hindus, atheists, the rest of the world, if we don't get united, realizing that we have a religious majority that has been determined to annihilate a religious minority, if we don't understand that this is the actual situation, then they will take advantage of all of us. If we allow them to kill the Jewish people today, tomorrow they will have another problem. Maybe the next time it's not Palestine, it could be Andalusia. Because also Andalusia is a Muslim land according to Islamic law, and the Muslims are required to fight until they liberate this Islamic territory. Every mosque around the world is an Islamic land. And I dare you to try to shut down one mosque in Europe. Now the
I love Mossab. I really do. I respect his perspective so much. I don't know if I necessarily agree. Look, I'll be the first to criticize Muslims, Islam, not Islam so much, but Muslims and Arabs. I'm the first person to do it. I'll be in line first like this. Can I criticize them? Let me criticize them. Because I have genuine gripes with them. They've wronged my family. They've been wronging me. They wronged my mom and dad, my grandparents, on all four sides, two sides of my family, all four grandparents. But I do have to say that I'm not sure I 100% subscribe to this idea that Muslims, after finishing with the Jews, that they would move to Andalusia and try to conquer what was once part Islamic land. I actually think making that argument somehow also reduces the specific gripe they have with Israel and the Jews. You know, Muslims and Christians have always been fighting back and forth. And there's always been territory swaps and conquering and colonizing and conquesting from each other. And we know there's that saying, it's like they come for the Saturday people, then they come for the Sunday people. I don't think that things are mutually exclusive. And in reality, if you look at the way that the Muslim world and the Arab world operates, they come for the Saturday people, the Sunday people, and the Friday people, which are Muslims, at the same time. They do it at the same time and at the same rate. Christian populations in the Middle East are currently decimated. They're currently being decimated. And actually, the only place where they're growing is within Israel. Their dynamics are changing. Nazareth is becoming Muslim. Bethlehem is becoming Muslim. Christians are moving actually to live amongst Jews in a lot of cases. Move away from Muslim areas. It's happening. Arab Christians, Palestinians, what you would call. But the reality is that they're coming for the Jews, the Christians, and Muslims at the same time. Sufi Muslims are under threat. Ahmadi Muslims are under threat. Shiite Muslims and Sunni, and sorry, did I say Sufi or Sunni? I meant Sufi, I didn't say Sunni. Sunni and Shiites are constantly fighting and killing each other. So there's not only this concept of coming for the Saturday people than the Sunday people, they come for themselves almost more than anybody else. And this is why I say the whole thing needs to be reformed and restructured. While yes, there's 38,000 denominations of Christian belief. How many of them are actively battling themselves? How many of them actively engaging in war? If zero, maybe a little bit here and there, and maybe mostly in the Arab world. But everywhere else in the world, how many Christians are actively battling each other in the streets in wars? How many of them committing genocides and war crimes against each other? So, you know, I don't disagree with Mossab. I just think the framing of how it is, it's like that is already happening. It's not like they're going to come for you. They're already coming for you. The war has already started. They're not going to come for Andalusia. They're in Andalusia now. It's happening now. the behavior, the argument, and the way that the Arab Muslim world is seen by Christians and Westerns, that whole thing needs to be reverted. You need to start carrying yourself with more respect for your land and for understanding that nobody in this world wants to live under an Arab Islamic caliphate or governing system besides those people who live under it right now, and I would say a very privileged few who reap the benefits from it. The rest of us we're not looking forward to. We don't want that. So we need to actively call that out. It's not a concept of it's going to come. It's already here. It's already happening. Next clip is by an awesome creator. I believe his name is Sam Freed. I believe. Mutual friend of a bunch of friends that I know in this space. Let's check him out.
Have been killed.
How many are back?
Actually, so they're named and identified.
24,000 people have been named.
Estimates are currently at...
Okay, let me give it to you like this. You ready for this? I'll give it to you very simple. You don't want people to die? There have been 17 ceasefire opportunities on the table for Hamas to accept since October. 17. What are the 2 requirements? Hold on, what are the 2 requirements? What are the 2 requirements? Release the hostages, Hamas disarms. If they really cared about their people, they would be demanding that Hamas and the international community would be putting pressure on Hamas to accept one of those ceasefire opportunities. 17. We are now in month 8. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. Hold on. I want to add another thing. I want to add another thing. War is inherently bloody. This is war. We did not ask for this war. They started a war with us. If you don't want people to die, don't start a war. But you know what bothers me the most? What bothers me the most is the tragedy selectivism. Okay? Because if you're going to go ahead and make problems that Israel is defending themselves in a war, where were you when Bashar al-Assad killed 500,000 Muslims? Where were you when in the Yemen Civil War 450,000 Muslims were killed? And as you and I speak, safe in America, there are 1.2 million Muslims in Chinese internment camps. Where are you fighting for them? But you choose Israel, the singular Jewish state, defending themselves against radical terrorism. I rest.
I sometimes wonder, because I made this argument so many times, and God knows when I come to America, for many of you guys who don't know, by the way, I am coming to America. If you guys want me to come speak on your college campuses or universities, synagogues, whatever it is, send me an email at collab.travelingclat.com, or sorry, collab.travelingclat@gmail.com. Okay, send me an email there, collab.travelingclat@gmail.com. If you guys want me to come and speak at universities, college campuses, I'll be making these arguments, but I sometimes wonder for the pro-Palestinians, do they listen, or do they think that's just propaganda? You could chat GPT, you could open up your phone and just literally go to chat GPT, okay? I'm going to do it right now in front of you guys and say, hey, ChatGPT, how many Syrians were killed in Syria?
The Syrian conflict has resulted in a tragic number of casualties. Estimates vary widely, but hundreds of thousands of people have lost their lives since the conflict began in 2011.
Can you give me a rough number?
Estimates indicate that more than 500,000 people have died in the Syrian conflict.
These aren't Zionist sources. Ask Google Gemini. Ask the Google on your phone. Here, you know what? I'll even make it for argument's sake. Hey, Google, how many people have been killed in Lebanon?
The number of people killed in Lebanon varies depending on the source and the time frame. Here are some sources with information.
Give me in the Lebanese Civil War. Lebanese Civil War. Hey Google, how many people have been killed in the Lebanese Civil War?
The Lebanese Civil War, which lasted from 1975 to 1990, was a devastating conflict that resulted in a high death toll. While exact figures vary, it is estimated that between 100,000 and 150,000 people were killed during the war.
It's estimated that another 100 or 150,000 after that have been killed till today, based on the different conflicts that have been going on in Lebanon and Hezbollah and Palestinian insurgency in their country. So over 300,000 in Lebanon. Where's the outrage? I always wonder with these faux activists talking about Israel-Palestine. Do they actually, for one, do they believe that the numbers that we're quoting are true, or do they think it's just whataboutism? Like right now in Sudan, right now since the beginning of 2024, a year plus, 50,000 people have been killed. Actual genocides, 580,000 in Somalia. It trumps Arabs on Arabs, Muslims on Muslims. They're all Muslim countries. It so far overwhelms the number of Palestinians ever killed in history by Israelis. Ever. Like in the whole Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It so far supersedes it that it's actually mind-blowing. Last, we've got absolutely based Vivek Ramaswamy, who I was kind of hoping would be president. But I do, we're on the Trump train kind of right now. Let's take a look at Vivek.
If Israel wants to destroy Hamas, Israel should go ahead and destroy Hamas. If Israel wants to destroy Hezbollah, Israel should go ahead and destroy Hezbollah. If Israel and Mossad want to pull off Munich 2.0 and take out every last leader of Hamas, wherever they may be hiding from Doha to Dresden, host a red wedding at the Four Seasons in Qatar, the next time Haniyeh and Mashal show up, they should go ahead and do it. If Israel...
And they did.
Wants to at long last abandon the myth of a two-state solution, Israel should go ahead and abandon a two-state solution. The rest of the Arab world can absorb Palestinians just as the Jews absorbed their people out of 22 countries they were kicked out of since 1948. I would love nothing more than for the IDF to put the heads of the top 100 Hamas leaders on stakes and line them up on the Israel-Gaza border as a sign that October 7, 2023 will never happen again. That is Israel's decision to make, not ours. That is what David Ben-Gurion would tell Israel to do. That is what George Washington would tell the United States to do.
We stand Vivek on this channel, ladies and gentlemen. That guy is my president. I want to see that guy be my president someday. I appreciate him. I like him. He's a smooth talker. And you know what I really appreciated about him, by the way? In the same beat where he said this, because he has actual sentiments of pro-Israel, he also, one of his main goals was that Israel disconnect from America militarily and financially, which I think is actually really, really important. I think we've learned during this war that when American administrations change, and you have a Democrat, you have Republican, the support for Israel wanes, and that can become very dangerous for Israel if it's too dependent on America, which it kind of seems like it has gotten to. I think Israel's done a very good job holding its own, but also we have become slightly too independent or too dependent on America. And so Vivek, in the same beat, says, if Israel wants, Israel should do. Kind of saying we shouldn't give a fuck about what America wants or doesn't want for us. Obviously it's better to have American cooperation, but we don't need to take into account what America wants in the Middle East for us to take action to protect our own people. And if it means we want to take out all of Hamas, all of Hezbollah, all of the Islamic regime of Iran's proxies, we should right the hell go and do it. And we shouldn't have to ask anybody for permission to do it. It's our country, our land. I'm a big fan of Vivek. I love seeing that stuff from him. All three, Mossab Hassan Youssef, Sam Fried, who was on today, and Vivek Ramaswamy, thank you guys very much for speaking up for Israel. Thanks for doing what you do. I appreciate you guys very much. Hey, listen, support my channel so I can keep doing this amazing work, keep creating this awesome content for you guys. I love you guys very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, class. I love you a long time. If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to support me, being PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining my Patreon community down below. Patreon is the best way to support my channel, and you'll get a bunch of cool perks depending on what tier you join. Another great way to support me is by buying my merchandise on thetravelingclat.com. I regularly drop new merch designs like this beautiful hat or this amazing shirt, where you can support the channel and get something cool for yourself. I also have an amazing Discord community with people from all over the world. Thank you so much for your support.